Oh.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. If you're watching the recording, either on YouTube or LinkedIn, I encourage you to leave a comment below. Either myself or Lisa will be kind of monitoring, see what's happening and getting involved and responding. Obviously, if you're watching live, welcome. And the webinar today, myself and Lisa are going to go through and obviously go through the topic today, which is how Hickory Food transform their compliance and training programs, which is great. If you do want to, obviously leave a comment and a question. We'll look at it throughout towards the end of the webinar. Myself and Lisa will go through and answer everything we can. If not, someone from the MapHal team will jump in and help you out. Perfect. So obviously, the topic today is how Hickory Food transform their compliance and training programs. I'm with Lisa from Hickory. If you could give yourself a quick intro, that would be tremendous.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa. I've worked for Hickory for about a year as their hospitality manager. I do weddings, corporate events, and parties, but recently I've also been part of the resource team, and that's where I deal with everything that has to do with the teams, especially their training, and yeah.
Perfect. And my name's Cameron. I'm a business development manager at MapHal, and I will be the moderator today. I have the pleasure. So I'll be going through some questions, having a chat with Lisa, and obviously going through the comments at the end. So I guess to kind of start out, we'll kind of go fairly general. I think this particular question, and it covers the environment that everyone, especially us in hospitality, have kind of come from, and it's the change we've had in the past couple of years, be it, you know, the COVID, the economy, the political landscape, and just general changing expectation with customers. So I guess for you, Lisa, how do you think Hickory, that really impacted Hickory Foods, and what were the kind of challenges you guys faced?
Well, 2020 and 2021 was obviously very difficult for everyone in the hospitality industry, particularly for Hickory being an events company and everything being cancelled. Events were constantly being rescheduled or changed in size and changed in how many people we could have at all the events. And yeah, constant due to the changes and updates in regulations. But it's led us to being incredibly resilient, making us more agile as a business, and led us to improving our communication with our stakeholders, our clients, and planning most of our events. Most of our events that were planned were just reorganized, and we managed to everything went ahead anyway outside of the lockdown period, which was really good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the changing landscape's hard as it is. COVID obviously being a massive spanner in the mix, and especially every hospitality venue had to kind of deal with that. And I guess having the ability to kind of change, and not only change and survive that, but also thrive in the future from making that change, it kind of separates the companies that kind of don't use change to kind of to making themselves a lot more robust. So I think for you guys, what do you think was the kind of the main couple of points that kind of got you through those couple of years and got you to the point where you're really starting to thrive right now again?
Well, we lost quite a lot of our workforce because they all went back home to their home countries, but the team that we had here has made, like, it became stronger. COVID has certainly helped us shape our team, and also the use of different like tech platforms as well, with like training and onboarding, and making the company be able to stay in touch with the team and grow as a team as well. Been good.
I think it's a testament to Hickory and how you as a team have kind of come together and kind of obviously take a bit more extra responsibility and then kind of deal with the punches that are getting thrown at you, but also kind of doing your customers best as well, as best as you can, obviously, with them obviously having some really big events planned, like you mentioned, weddings. That's obviously lifelong memories you want to fulfill people, and kind of doing it in a way where they're obviously satisfied, but with that new legislation, it's obviously going to be massively tough. So it's a great shout out to Hickory there. So I guess for how you kind of came to working with us. Obviously, Hickory and obviously Flow have been working for a long time, and obviously since the Mapal improvements have kind of taken place. Can you share why you initially considered a solution, an e-learning platform, and what kind of took you to that point?
I think we've been part of Flow or Flow by Mapal since 2016. And it was because it was a local company from Edinburgh and it had a really good reputation from the start. And we just wanted to stop using paper all the time and just have everything digitalized. So it was a perfect solution for us to use Flow.
Yeah, I think you obviously being Edinburgh based, you definitely will have been one of Flow's initial customers. And again, Flow has been a platform used by many kind of local, independent, one-site businesses. But over the course of years, obviously being 2024 now, time has flown by. With that kind of investment from Mapal and now being Flow by Mapal, we've had the privilege to really have a lot of different type of customers, not only kind of one-site businesses in Edinburgh, but all over Europe now, multi-site venues. So I think the how Flow has kind of evolved over the years, as well as kind of Hickory, it kind of shows that we're kind of looking to be the best partners we can be, but also give you the best training platform to help you do best, which is obviously hospitality at its heart. So kind of coming from the perspective of people watching this potentially and organizations that maybe want to make the leap in 2024, that can be a bit of a kind of a change for people, and the training a development structure and their internal process can affect lots of different aspects of the business. Were there any areas that, Hickory were concerned about, you were concerned about when you're embedding the platform and Flow?
I think one of the biggest concerns was that we weren't sure how involved people would be in going from in-person training to online training. And also we've had everything on paper this whole time, and then putting everything into an online platform was a bit scary as well. It's just tradition in hospitality, I suppose. So you have everything in on paper, and instead of where am I trying to go here?
Not your point that
moving from everything being in person to going online, I wasn't sure how engaging all the staff would be and the team would be with this.
Yeah, I think traditionally hospitality training, it's very much a people business at its core, which makes it great and why we all love it. And when you're training someone in hospitality and when it's your own venue, you want to get it right. So having that full control in persons, it's going to be big, and obviously somewhat relinquishing that can be a concern for many people. And obviously that direct control can be big. But I think the points you mentioned were kind of shifting with the times a little bit and understanding where people are used to consuming content online, and it helps you, it takes a lot of pressure off your plate, and it can be a lot more standardized, and having that digital process ensures brand standards are kind of maintained throughout all your different kind of sites, or just different time periods throughout the year. It's always going to be the same, which you can rely and trust in that. But I think the combination of having that people business that we love and also that Flow platform or an online platform is a great combo, which we're seeing for so many of our companies, and like always at Hickory. So you guys, like you said, been in place for about 8 years now, which is quite a long time. I guess since it went live, and obviously I know yourself, Luca, you inherited the platform and renewed recently, and obviously you've kind of gone through your own kind of internal project, if you will, to kind of improve the platform and make it a bit more nuanced for Hickory. How has it kind of changed since you've done that, and what kind of improvements have you noticed?
It's been really good just having everything digitalized, to be honest. We have our own platform as well, and we've been working loads of just moving from paperwork to digitalized, and it's easier to track the team's compliance, the business ISO, so that people are up to date with the industry regulations, with health and safety, with first aid, with basically everything. And it's so easy to just go onto the dashboard and see where everyone's at as well. So I don't have to go through all of the paper, and it's just all there. It's like a click of a button, which has been really, really good.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to it being pretty busy, in the back end of the office, in any different type of hospitality venue, and having bits of paper everywhere, and having the pressure to kind of find things and store things can can be quite tough, and having to rely on paper and a bit more of an outdated form, there's more pressure and things can go wrong pretty easy. But if you do have that kind of digitized process and you're relying on that and you can kind of trust in that, and it's the fact that it's always going to be right and there for you just by a few clicks of a button, like you said, saves time and takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders, so you can kind of focus on what you do best, which is running a great hospitality venue, which is a lot more than just kind of the compliance and following the legislation, because obviously we want to kind of take that away from you and kind of give you that kind of freedom to look at other areas of the business, which is massively important. And I guess for you guys, obviously it's fantastic for the operational side of the business and saving you time, Lisa, which is obviously what we want to do, and making your life a lot easier to focus on other areas like we mentioned. But when it comes to the actual people on the front line, your staff, the people that are interacting with the training, have you kind of gained any feedback from them? How have they kind of interacted with and obviously used the new training onboarding experience at Hickory? How's it been for them?
It's been really good, actually. It's good that there's so many different learning styles when it comes to flow. There's like the small videos or quizzes. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. They're engaging and fun. And I think the staff, because they're also always busy as well, so it's nice for the team to just be able to go on the bus and do like little modules on their way to work. So when they actually show up to shift, they're already informed and ready with everything they need to know, basically, for their on shift training as well.
That's great. I mean, I think with the engaging staff nowadays, you always have to kind of keep up with the times a little bit, and understanding that although people are used to kind of sitting down in a classroom and doing training, kind of like that's obviously what we all go through at kind of school, with everyone kind of using their phones nowadays, it's the method people are used to consuming with content. It has to be kind of quick, engaging, with TikTok, Instagram being kind of everywhere nowadays, having content to kind of almost emulate that a little bit, with kind of, like you said, methods to engage people, understanding that people are kind of neurodiverse and do have different kind of learning styles. Not everyone's the same person, and everyone has that kind of difference in learning. So I think we take a lot of pride at Flow in having our own internal learning solutions team, and the way they build modules. I know how much time and thought and effort and expertise they put into those modules to kind of build them to be the most engaging for multiple different types of people that we discussed, but also giving them the right info so they can not only get their certificates and obviously start working with the right boxes ticked, but also they contain that information. So once they do kind of learn all the top stuff about, hygiene, food safety, allergens, they can bring that into the workplace and actually use it. And as a result, you guys are obviously going to have a better, higher quality service standard, because you've got people that know their stuff, and that's because they've been engaged with the training, as opposed to just regurgitating the legislation. That is a nightmare. That would put me to sleep, I know for sure. So I think we take a lot of pride internally is building the best modules we can. And I guess for you guys, you've obviously set up a great foundation for your compliance training, and ticking a lot of your boxes saved you time. It's improved your onboarding experience, which is fantastic. But obviously Flow, I know myself because I talk to people every day, and I know multiple examples of people using Flow, but there's lots of different directions you can go and improve the platform and really utilize it to the best you can. So with you guys and potentially your goals for the future, are there any new initiatives you're kind of maybe using the platform for, and what you want to kind of what direction you want to go in now?
Yes, we've started using the workbooks feature, which is really good, because then we can make up our bespoke training for the team as well, based on our own venues, our own specific events. So they can go in and they can see videos of the venue, or they can see everything that has to do with our venue, specifically our events. And then it's a great way to just reinforce the in-person training, to have the virtual lessons before, so they know what they're walking into as well. And I think it's quite fun for people to see, or not fun, but for the team to actually know what our venues look like and what our specific Hickory events look like before they show up to their shift.
Yeah, for sure. I think with Flow, there's always going to be that great structure with our modules, but the more you can incorporate maybe some of your own content, obviously people always have their own PDFs they can upload to the platform as part of their kind of document storage almost. But creating actual content for the workbook functionality is a great way to, like you said, make the platform feel a lot more bespoke and add your own topics. And if you can have your own people talking in videos and then use your own language, and it's just you ensuring you get the right information across to the people and add the nuance. That is what obviously the Hickory specialty bits of info that you want people to know, be it for specific events. You can really add that, as opposed to where we kind of have more generic compliance content. You can really add the cherry on top of the cake, as it were. And that's just obviously one aspect, which is obviously workbook functionality, and hopefully we can kind of guide you in the right direction. But be it, learning development, with kind of more career development functionality with appraisals and career mapping. Potentially in the future, people might use our engagement features with our chat functionality. Publishing surveys is always a great way. You obviously have a pretty diverse workforce, and it's pretty multifaceted. So using and publishing surveys is a great way to get that feedback from people, but also giving people the tools to give you feedback through suggestion boxes, be it public or anonymous. It's a great way to kind of get that info from people, or just generally having a whole new recognition piece, be it peer-to-peer or having people get actual recognition from their customers, which is obviously important. Hospitality is great, but the great work people do can get clouded from the speed, because you do a good deed and you do excellent piece of service, but it's 100 miles an hour. You got to do it again and again and again. So having that way to kind of do that. So like I said, there's so many different ways you can use Flow in different directions. Just using that workbook tool, I think, adds another layer to what you're doing. So maybe 6 months down the line, once you've embedded that, maybe we might be on LinkedIn Live again talking about that. So curious to see how you guys get on with the workbook tool. So I guess kind of finishing up, and obviously before we can look at some of the comments and encourage people to kind of ask them questions or just get involved just now. But for you, Lisa, and the experience you've gained with Flow, and obviously making the internal changes to Hickory's training and compliance program, are there any bits of advice you might give to a similar organization or a hospitality venue in general that would kind of stand them in good stead if you wanted to embed a new platform?
I think I would generally implement it from the get-go, from the start, and be really committed to it. It's a great way to have like an online platform with training as well as in-person training. So make it part of the onboarding process, and if you make it a part of your day-to-day routine as well, it will save you so much time to have everything digitalized. The team will already be a little bit ready before they show up to shift, so they know some of like the health and safety allergens and all of that before they show up to shift, and then you can do your online on shift training as well.
Great, awesome, thanks a lot for that. Yeah, of course. I think your point does remain true, and I try to stress this point when talking to customers as well. I think nowadays, with everyone on their phones nowadays, and people in hospitality just generally being so busy, especially as we kind of come to the seasonal aspect of hospitality during summer, we are fighting for our time and trying to gain time back. So if there's always ways we can kind of gain time back, that's fantastic, and obviously you want to try and embed that, but sometimes you have to kind of spend that time and really commit at the start to gain that in the future, kind of reap the rewards down the line. So I definitely agree with your point that the best customers that we have and the people that have embedded the platform with the most success have always from the get-go fully committed to the platform and gone and kind of dived right into the deep end to learn the nuance, to learn all the aspects. I think what we do at MapAl with having our individual onboarding consultants for each individual project really adds a whole lot of specificity to each project, and giving people the expertise and giving people that guidance they need to kind of take it to the next level. But it's going to be specific to them. It's not general advice. So I think that commitment, and obviously having that consultant to kind of guide you through the process, is going to stand anyone in good stead. But having seen it so many times, it's a repeatable formula but that, like you said, you need to tick those boxes at the start with regards to commitment and using it every day, because that's the way you're going to learn. So awesome. Thanks so much for that, Lisa.
Thank you.
I will have a quick little gander through some of the comments. Again, this is obviously live, so bearing in mind we obviously have viewers, it's a busy Tuesday morning. We'll obviously, if we can, if time allows it, try to get involved with people maybe commenting down the line in a couple of days, couple of weeks, if you're catching this late and didn't manage to catch it live. So I will keep an eye on the comments over the next couple of days and weeks. But we have Andy Jones in the chat. So he's obviously listening from the Isle of Man. Good to see you, Andy. Looking forward to learning how Hickory have adapted their training programs. We have seen many businesses who have thrived through adapting and the way they train their people. So we've got Andy as a fan, Lisa. He's shouting you out. He is giving you some props there. So thank you for that, Andy. It's always good to kind of see other people that are implementing similar process, appreciating that and shouting out. So thanks for that comment, Andy. But like I said, I encourage other people to leave a comment. We'll try and catch it through the next couple of days. Thanks so much for your time, Lisa. Really appreciate it. Obviously, you guys at Hickory and with Flo, we've been together for a long time, adapting for the times, and it's great that we can obviously catch up over a webinar. But I look forward to kind of hearing the success over the next couple of months and years. For everyone kind of watching and people that have maybe missed it, you can get access to this webinar and previous webinars by going to Mapal's LinkedIn page or checking out www.mapal-os.com to get all the historical webinars as well. But thanks so much for all the viewers' time. Thank you for your time as well, Lisa. I appreciate it. And I hope you got something from it and enjoyed it as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Perfect. Great. And we will stop there, please.